We live in an era when 3D printing is becoming mainstream and 4D is being piloted. An era when driverless cars hit the headlines and countries have more electric charging points than gas stations. It's also an era when superficial news make more noise than the screams of thousands of people suffering all over the world from injustice, discrimination, and violence.
Today, we're going to tell you the stories of 59 superheroes. No, they don't wear tights and red capes, nor can they fly. In fact, most of them barely understand the English we speak now. This is the story of Fadma, Khadija, Muhammad and Samir, and more than 10,000 people we have met this year. Stories of individuals like you and I.
To bring you our story, we started from our own backyard, Morocco. Today, we're not only students, but entrepreneurs. Not only do we represent our school, or the 4,000 Enactus students from Morocco, but a whole generation of kids who are not taken seriously because of their age. But if being a kid means making an impact and changing the world, then let us be kids.
We have decided this year to focus on transforming a whole village, to empower its people to create the solutions they need.
From sustainable housing and infrastructure, to reducing gas emission, to cutting budget deficit and increasing inclusion and participation. This is the story we're proud to tell you today.
It is said that takes a village to raise a kid. We say it takes a kid to revolutionize a village.
My name is Sumia,
Isamdin.
Imran.
and we are Enactus Hassaniya School of Public Affairs.
And our story started like this.
Our 2016 Enactus journey took us on the road to the south of Morocco, to a tiny village called Agim. Agim is roughly around 2 hours south of Marrakesh, in one of the most secluded areas of the country. You may have envisioned this picture of Marrakesh as a trendy and fancy place with exotic flavors and scenery where everyone dreams of spending their New Year's Eve. Agim is more like this. Would you like to live there?
Well, I would not. I mean, what would I want to live in the middle of nowhere? What about my career, my education?
Imagine yourself as Muhammad.
Meet Muhammad.
شنو عندنا المشكل حنا يعني المشكل ديال المنطقه التلاميذ اللي كيجيو يعني من المناطق المجاوره يعني ملي كيكون عنده هذوك الاوقات ديال الفراغ يعني ما كاينش فين كيمشي.
There is nothing to do, he says. Muhammad is a member of Al Qura Association, a 20-member strong NGO based in Agim. Meet the partner.
We bonded with Muhammad, Omar, and Samir, and they started telling us about their daily life there. Agim is a village, part of a rural district of 3 other villages, with a population of 10,000 people. Through our need analysis, we discovered the following.
The average monthly income in Agim is less than $100 per family. The unemployment rate has reached 90% among young people and women, and almost half of the population is still illiterate.
Agim, like every secluded village in the world, suffers from a lack of infrastructures, with no sports or cultural facilities, only one school, and a mostly non-equipped infirmary, with only one doctor for over 10,000 people.
Agim is also very hot during summer and very cold during winter, leading to extreme weather conditions.
Meet Fadma. Imagine yourself as Fadma, a widow with 5 underage children. Her eldest son left for the city, and she has a loan to feed the whole family.
Meet Abdelghani. He's 5 years old, and he has to wait until he's 6 to go to school, because there is no kindergarten.
Meet Hamza, a 20-year-old young man with a high school diploma, but he doesn't do much.
Well, I think you've got the story. Agim isn't the only place like this. Agim is just an example of thousands of villages all over low and middle income countries.
Now, if you were us, what would you do? Despite this very dark and unpleasant image, there is actually a lot of hope. This hope lies in 2 main factors people usually take for granted: soil and kindness.
Wait a minute, I'm kind of lost. You were just telling us about a village that is a complete nightmare with no reason to live in. And now you can make it better using just soil. Kindness? Seriously, what's going on?
Well, that's how our team saw the opportunity, and we intervened. We have spent many months living and interacting with the citizens of Agim. We had the chance to speak to almost everyone: youth, women, kids, the elderly, the local government, local shop owners, and then we started collecting suggestions about what were their most pressing needs. We first thought about building a library where almost no one would go, then an internet cafe. But was it really going to solve the problems they had and create the change they needed?
And after many weeks of in-depth immersion, we all came to the conclusion that the village was in an extreme need of economic opportunities for youth and women, fostering social inclusion inside their communities, and finally, improving their living and working conditions.
So, what would be the best solution to empower the people of Agim, improve their livelihoods, and provide some real change in economic growth with some real entrepreneurial action to the people?
Remember the soil and kindness? That's the trick. Our challenge was to be able to build a space that could accommodate all of these needs and provide a solution that is affordable, eco-friendly, energy-saving, and fully sustainable.
And the answer is quite simple. Using rammed soil as raw material, we developed a construction technique that consists on sacking bags filled with a mixture of 90% of rammed soil and only 10% of cement. In fact, this concept that we called Ecodom saves up to 45% of the construction cost and 50% of the construction duration compared to reinforced concrete buildings.
Not only this, its thermal and acoustic insulation characteristics makes it a perfect place to enjoy freshness during summer and warmth during the cold winter, saving up to 70% of energy consumption. Remember the extreme weather conditions.
So, let us summarize. We have lots of issues to solve, a super engaged community, and an innovative, highly scalable, low-cost concept that was developed. The next step now is turning ideas into action. As any great endeavor, we need the resources to prototype, validate, build, and have a great impact in Agim.
Our idea was to build the first incubator multi-facility center in the middle of nowhere that could offer space for children for after-school activities, job training programs to youth, literacy courses to women, income-generating activities, and startup support programs.
This might seem very simple for cities like this, but unfortunately for Agim, that's not the case.
And as it's not only about building and stopping there, we had to train our partners in business management and business development so that afterwards, we all developed a business plan and a revenue model. After doing some research, we estimated the cost of building the center at $11,000.
Moving forward, we started by pitching our concept nearly everywhere. We even went to both Silicon Valley at the Cleantech Open Challenge and Boston at Mass Challenge Startup Accelerator. After all of these competitions, it became obvious that we were sitting on a gold mine, impact and scale in Morocco and all over the world. The business model for Ecodom was based on a blended market by offering two types of products, a low-cost one for $150 per square meter and a luxury one for $250 per square meter, as we're targeting two segments of clients, those who can't afford the cost of normal construction and those interested in ecotourism. And that's not all.
Of course not. 30% of the net profit generated serves across subsidized building ecodoms for much-needed infrastructures in rural areas in Morocco and sub-Saharan Africa.
From one of these events, we met our first client and were able to secure our first contract to build a 72 square meter house for the price of $12,000. In order to secure this contract, we had to create 6 jobs. Well, not any jobs. We had to train Rashid and Hamid in the whole construction process, providing them with a set of new skills. And after 45 days only, they built their first house, where now a family of 5 is enjoying a warm home.
This first contract provided us with a net profit of $1,700, which served as the base for our Agim Center.
We were able to generate the remaining funds for the center through our corporate partners and supporters, and we even started receiving pre-orders from many clients in Morocco and Senegal. As a result, we generated the $9,300 that was missing. And with much resilience and enthusiasm, we made it happen. Ecodom, ladies and gentlemen, is now a successful commercial and a sustainable alternative construction technique where we empowered ourselves and our partners to become champions in alternative construction. This is the power of creative entrepreneurship for a greater good.
Now, we had everything: the soil, the kindness, and the resources to make it all happen.
And we did.
Through our partnership with the association, we selected and trained its members to be able to provide for themselves and their families while learning a new skill that would make them independent and fully empowered to launch their own businesses in the future.
We selected 13 outstanding young men from the village to become our first group of trainees and learn our soil construction technique. With all the engineering done from our side, we were surprised to see that these people went even beyond and improved our process. We then decided to empower them more and appoint 3 of them as site managers.
عندي احساس بلي المشروع مستقبلا غيكون مزيان بالنسبه ليا حتى انا نيت غيكون عندي تجربه في هذا الشيء غادي ناخذ واحد التجربه زوينه والحمد لله مزيان والله الا فرحت فاش شفت البروجي.
The whole project was a community revolution on its own. The whole construction was done by locals, and only local businesses were involved. A real circular economy. Imagine what $11,000 can do in a community that earns barely nothing. As a result, the project generated 43 direct and indirect jobs and business opportunities to 14 local businesses, generating revenue to over 30 people.
All of these people have seen their net income increase by 50%. And after 3 months only, our center was up and running and already welcoming its first knowledge-savvy customers.
Our multi-facility center empowered 100 citizens so far to develop their skills and find new venues for employment opportunities. Thanks to the center, Hamza launched tutoring programs for the kids of the village and Abdelkarim a creativity class for kindergarten.
The center is also a playground for over 5,000 primary and high school students from the whole rural district, as a place to enjoy extracurricular activities and improve their quality of education. This will have a real sustainable change in their lives. And it already had. These students can now come to the center to improve their reading skills, receive training, and work on their ideas. They now have a space where they can create projects, do research, and collaborate.
And we did not stop there. The center will also generate revenue based on providing numerous services, Wi-Fi space, tutoring programs, and shops for local services. Thus, the center will be financially sustainable and will employ 2 people as full-time staff to manage the day-to-day operations.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not only about building a community center, it's a whole community transformation. Imagine what will happen when we scale all of this to all neighboring villages in Morocco and beyond.
Aysam, we spoke about young people and kids involved in the projects, but is it really inclusive?
Very much so. During our needs assessment, we met with Fadma, who kindly hosted us.
Padma endures very harsh conditions, high temperature, and lots of toxic smokes in a tiny place, just to earn a living, and to survive in a place such as Agim.
يوم السبت كان بزاف ديال الحطب يقولوا نجبد هنا
تحطبوا وتجيبوا على داركم.
على ظهرنا وكان اللي كيهز بزاف كاين اللي كيهز شويه كل واحد على حسب
تخاخ الخدمه ما كيحرقوكمش في عينيكم.
يحرقونا بعينينا وفي صدرنا وفي كل شيء.
Unfortunately, Fadma is just one example of many other women of the village who are using wood, not only to make bread, but also to cook some of their meals, as they can't afford using cooking gas 3 times a day.
We needed a solution that would enable these women not only to decrease their energy consumption, but that would also increase their revenues. We came up with EcoHeat, an innovative, low-cost, slow cooker.
EcoHeat is a disruptive, eco-friendly, and low-cost bag filled with cellulose webbing that keeps temperature for a very long time.
Well, how does this thing work?
Well, no magic. You only need to put your meal on fire for 20 minutes until it reaches its boiling temperature, then put it inside the bag and let it to finish cooking. These few steps can save time, money, energy, and keep food tasty and healthy.
Okay, so now that we have the solution, we need to make a business out of it. How about teaching these women to use their sewing skills not only to make their bags, but to generate revenue from them? We had to look for courageous, committed, and financially in need women to take the journey with us. We held the first meeting and more than 30 came. So we had to choose then the 5 most self-motivated, skilled, and talented ones to be our first entrepreneurs.
In only a few months, our project employed 10 women who sold their products to more than 100 families who are now using it to decrease their energy consumption and avoid inhaling toxic fumes. To make it affordable, we set $5 as the selling price in rural areas, while we sell the same product for $12 in cities. By doing so, we subsidize our product to make it affordable for our most needy customers to purchase.
The villagers in Agim empowered us to launch 2 social businesses, EcoDam and EcoHeat. EcoDam is an alternative, innovative construction startup that uses soil instead of reinforced concrete and bricks to build much essential infrastructure in developing countries at a very affordable cost. This year, the business generated 19 direct jobs, $12,000 revenue, and more than $180,000 in pre-orders.
EcoHeat, an innovative slow cooking solution that helped reduce the gas and wood consumption. This year, EcoHeat created 10 jobs and generated $1,300 revenue. And we're having an exclusive discussion with Unilever to purchase 500 bags for their retailers and partners for a contract of $6,000. We are also very proud to say that EcoHeat was selected as one of the Ford Innovation Challenge recipients and won $15,000 to scale our project nationally.
Scaling? How?
In 2016, the Moroccan government has spent so far more than $5 billion on rural infrastructure in rural areas, including hospitals and centers. Now, if a 20-bed medical facility costs around $100,000, our model would make it cost only $55,000 or even less, as we cross-subsidize the costs. With only 10 clients, we're able to build a full facility, which means that we are not only profitable, but we create impact everywhere.
On the other hand, if 1,000 families use EcoHeat for a year, they will save up to 3.3 tons of gas.
This is scaling at large.
We're also very proud to announce that our project will be presented at the United Nations COP22 convention this November in Marrakesh as examples of successful startups fighting climate change and creating economic growth.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year we have successfully launched 2 social businesses, generated $13,000 in revenues, secured $33,000 in funding, and invested $12,000, impacting the lives of 1,000 people. This was our miracle from us to you. We are civil engineers building a better world from Morocco to us all. We are Enactus Hassania School of Public Affairs, and we are the Hope Makers.
Thank you. Okay, so we have 10 women working with us on the project. They're the one producing the bags. And so far, we've sold 113 bags for 130 families.
Hello.
Hi.
Extremely impressive. So my question is, once you remove yourselves from this project, how are the people in these communities expected to maintain their distribution channels and contact points to sell the products moving forward?
Okay, so this is a very important question indeed. To ensure the sustainability of the projects, so we based our model upon choosing brand ambassadors, which are the women themselves, because they have the trust of the local communities. And throughout demonstration sessions, they were able to acquire the necessary visibility of the project. So right now they are selling in their communities already, where we do not intervene in the selling process.
I may also add that for the center, for the multi-facility center, we first thought about its financial sustainability. So we've estimated the operating cost, actually it is the operating cost, as $5,000. $5,000 including the salaries for the 2 persons that we mentioned, electricity bill, internet, and everything. So the revenue, we are covering this operation cost by 3 resources. First, the subscription fee. We fix an annual subscription fee for the village. Actually, 100 families will subscribe to our center with paying $2, and all 50% will come from the subscription fee, and 30% will come from the services, as we mentioned, the local services. We are planning to rent the center for local services and local shops. And 20% will be through our partnership with the government. They will cover the electricity bill and all the facilities.
So is the EcoHeat product a replacement to the kiln and fire, or is it more of an enhancement for women cooking?
Okay, so instead of using gas for like 2 hours per meal, they could use it 20 minutes, which saves them a lot. We could mention that every month they pay $4 in order to acquire gas. With our project or our product, they could get it with $5, which will last for a whole month.
Yes. I can add to that that so for example, if they needed to go and take wood every day, they would only now go and take it every week or every other week, which means that they are dramatically decreasing the quantity of wood or gas they are using, and this is where our product comes in to cover this thing.
I would also add that the life expectancy of the product is 3 years.
Thank you. A very impressive question. Very interesting model in Agim. How do you expand the model then to other villages?
So the answer the answer to this is our business model. So as we said, we are a company that sells construction technique, like that constructs domes to individuals or to investors interested in ecotourism or any individual interested in buying our product. And then we take some of the profit and use it to build other domes all over Morocco and in other villages. So our first dome was a normal client that asked us to build a house for him. Then our second was built in the center in Agim, and we have plans on going all over Morocco to build domes in other villages and also to Senegal.
Thank you, that was really impressive.
Thank you.
A couple of questions on the eco-domes. One was, how did you come up with the design in the first place, particularly thinking about safety and how that training is rolled out to the villages? And then maybe I missed it, but I wasn't sure how many domes you've got actually built now.
Okay, to answer your first question, first of all, to ensure the security of the users, we certified our product. And
Thank you.
Thank you.